Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We're happy to having you here with us. We will start page 114, Keynotes, Student Book 1. We are Unit 10, and so we are still talking about the neighborhood, and here we have the opportunity to watch Theater Gates in a very special presentation in London. And that was the reopening of an old church that was just torn down, and it's a venue now for special occasions. Just to keep an eye on the video, and let's see how it goes.
This is Theaster. This is Canvas. This is Sanctum. Bristol.
This is a new
Sanctum
one, okay?
is a most sacred space inside of a sacred space on the ruins of the Temple Church. We built an inner sanctuary inside those ruins where the city of Bristol could perform for 552 hours. So as I was approaching the structure, I was a little bit anxious because I hadn't seen it complete. And I saw its doors and I saw the kind of quirkiness, and it feels more Bristol than maybe anything that I could make on my own. And it's been that kind of mashup of parts of Bristol, people in Bristol that Bristol didn't know. And it felt like the more we were able to tap into Bristol's talent, the better the work became. Part of the value of listening to each other is that you start to realize that your voice is actually connected to a ton of voices that are interested in the same things. There's just been no connectivity apparatus. And I think that Sanctum and Situations was, at least for this moment, attempting to be that apparatus. And so I've been excited to learn how to create platforms that allow for that kind of connectivity so that the challenges of our cities are resolved because people listen longer and sing louder and try harder to know each other.
Child of God, although I move so slow,
And they had such a beautiful time playing and dancing upon the land, enjoying the wonderful radiant colors of the land.
Art It only works when people believe in it. I'm here because I'm an artist who believes in the power of publics. I feel like I've participated in something amazingly public in Bristol that may have kind of slightly changed my life. We've been able to do something that feels much more fulfilling, much larger than our individual efforts. It's like all those things together conspire to make an amazing 552 hours.
Okay, Amanda. So did you notice how he changed the church or no?
Yeah, so.
That's okay. So what did the church become? What do people do now at the church? What do people do
You
at the church?
say,
What did you see in the video? What were people doing there?
I see a lot of people dancing
Okay.
and single.
All right. Singing.
Yes.
Yes.
And they are expressing. Yeah, I think this.
That's okay. Very nice. Okay, so you see now we have the audio material that we have to see here on reshaping a city. Okay, I will ask the other parents to have the book. Okay, it's very important. And let me see this one here. First, we're gonna listen, okay? After I will ask you to read for me, okay? But tell me something important, Amanda. Read the first paragraph and what problems on the south side of Chicago are mentioned. Can you tell me? Is it possible?
I think the principle is the crime.
Okay, very nice. Okay, the crime. That's okay. Now let's listen to what they say, and after we read all the paragraph, okay, the text. This is 10.8. Let's come this way here, 10.8, ready? Let's go.
Reshaping a city. The south side of Chicago is a part of the city that has seen better days. Crime is a problem, and there are few jobs. Many blocks contain vacant buildings, but one resident is using his art to bring new life to the place. Theaster Gates saw the decline of his neighborhood firsthand. As he grew up, he watched as buildings were demolished by the local government or abandoned by their owners. But as a potter, Gates knew how to make beautiful things from very little. In 2008, he decided to buy a vacant house not far from his own home, and he started to renovate it. He used the house to stage exhibitions and meetings, and the site soon attracted many visitors. The success of the project led Gates to buy more properties, turning them into cultural centers and meeting places. As Gates says, we were slowly starting to reshape how people imagined the south side of the city. One building, named Listening House, has a collection of old books that were donated by publishing companies and bookstores. Another building was turned into a movie theater and named Black Cinema House. It became so popular that soon there wasn't enough room for all the visitors, and a new location needed to be found. Gates is now a well-known international artist. He has taken part in art shows in Germany and the United Kingdom. And in 2014, he was named as one of the most powerful people in contemporary art by Art Review magazine. But Gates hasn't forgotten his neighborhood, and his work in Chicago continues. Gates has helped design a $1 million art project for one of the South Side's subway stations.
Excellent now, and then welcome back, Otávio and Helena. We are here with Amanda. We are recording the classes today. And now, of course, we will take a look at the text we were listening. And then we are going to read. So we have to read this one here. Yeah, okay. So Amanda, can you please read for me the first paragraph? No, please, you read the paragraph 1 and 2, and then I will ask Otávio and Helena to continue on 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Please, Amanda, please start.
The south side of Chicago is a part of the city that has seen better days. Crime is a problem, and there are few jobs. Many blocks contain vacant buildings, but one resident is using his art to bring new life to the place. Mr. Gates saw the decline of this neighborhood firsthand, and he grew up. He watched as buildings were demolished by the local government or abandoned by their owners. But as a potter, Gates knew how to make beautiful things from very little. In 2008, he decided to buy a vacant house not far from his own home, and he started to renovate it.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we continue with Otávio. Otávio, please continue paragraph 3 and 4, please.
He used the house to stage exhibitions and meetings, and the site soon attracted many visitors. The success of the project led Gates to buy more properties, turning them into cultural centers and meeting places. As Gates says, we are slowly starting to reshape how people imagine the south side of my city. One building named as Listening House has a collection of old books that were donated by publishing companies and bookstores. Another building has turned into a movie theater and named Black Cinema House. It became so popular that soon there wasn't enough room for all the visitors, and a new location needed to be found.
É para eu continuar.
You continue number 5, please.
Gates is a no international artist. He has taken part in the art shows in Germany and the United Kingdom. In 2014, he was named as one of the most powerful people in contemporary art by Art Review magazine. But Gates hasn't forgotten his neighborhood, and his work in Chicago continues. Gates was helping design a $1 million art project for one of the South Side subway stations.
Excellent. Okay, thank you very much, Helena. That was a very nice reading, okay?
Thank
And
you.
let's continue here now. Now we continue as for the next page, page 115, we have understanding purpose, okay? Understanding purpose will be, we have the paragraphs you just read, and then if you have the file, you will take a look at this and tell me, and match each paragraph with its purpose. We can have your help, Amanda, Otávio, and Helena, everybody working together. Let's try to connect the dots here. Please, I'll be happy with your help to do so, okay? Paragraph 1, which one is the best here to describe? Let me see if everyone has the link, because if you have the link to the lesson, that would be just amazing. Let me see this one here. I'm getting here, getting the link for everybody. Student one here. Okay, I have here. I will repeat on our group, so you have access to it. Okay. Okay, I put over there to. Okay, so let's see what we have. What's the paragraph number 1? What do you say? How can we connect? Paragraph number 1. I believe it introduces and it describes Chicago South Side. Okay? And what would be paragraph number 2? What's your opinion, Amanda, Otávio, and Helena? What would be your opinion for this?
Eu acho que describes how Gates' first project led to more.
Okay, people. Amanda, do you agree or disagree?
I think I disagree.
Why?
I think it explains why Gates started his first renovation project.
You see that? That's the point. It describes this project. Did you understand now, Otávio?
Yes, I think it describes is paragraph number 3.
You made a mistake. That's okay. But it's good because we are learning now all together, okay? Now let's see this one here. And then why Gates started this first project, okay? That's this one here we put together. And what about paragraph number 3? That's what Otávio said. What about paragraph 4 and 5 now? Helena, can you help us?
I think describe how Gates continues to work in Chicago despite international fame.
You're talking about paragraph 4 or 5?
5.
Amanda and Otávio?
The paragraph 4 gives examples of two Gates projects in Chicago.
Okay. So, see that? Let's take a look here. That's the one. Wow, that's beautiful. You see now? This is what we describe in the rest of the things. Here, le parole. Perfect, perfect. That makes me happy. I'll send the information to everybody on our material. Let me get this one here, just clear the screen, and then we go down and go to understanding details. Now you're gonna tell me whether it's true, false, or not given that information. Sometimes it will talk about stuff that's not even mentioned in the text. For example, number 1, I need Helena to read for me number 1 and tell me whether it's true or false.
Theater Gates grew up in Chicago.
True or false, Helena?
Eu não lembro, mas eu acho que eu vou chutar que é verdade.
Okay, Otávio, what would you say?
I think it's true too.
Okay, and what about you, Amanda? What would you say, true or false? Amanda's microphone off. I believe it's true. Let's put here. Perfect. Number 2, Otávio, what would you say about number 2, please?
The first house Gates renovated was near his home.
That's true or false?
I think it's not given.
This information not given?
I think yes.
Take a look at the text. I believe this information is given.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, that's a given information, my opinion. Okay, but you can confirm. Take a look and confirm to see whether I'm telling the truth. You don't have to trust me, okay? Don't trust me. And Amanda, if you can open your microphone, you can also opinionate, okay? Give your opinion, no matter what, okay? Just tell me what you think it is. That would be amazing. Nobody? Nobody wants to say?
It's true.
Nobody wants to say?
It's true.
That's a true.
Um,
All right, and what about number 3? What would you tell me about number 3?
I think it's not given.
That information was not given. That was not given. Listening house is much bigger than Black Cinema House. No, we don't have that information. So this is the point, okay? Very good. I like that. Very happy to see you people are very, you're paying attention to the information on this, on what you see right now. And what about number 4? What would you tell me about number 4, people?
It's false.
That's false information. Why?
Because they say in the text that don't wear more space on the room.
If you know more space, it's because everybody's going. That's a good one. That's a good observation. Okay, congratulations for that. That's a nice one. And that's not true information. That's false information. Okay, what about number 5? Would you like to hear Elena to tell us about number 5? Elena, what do you feel about number 5?
Vou ver no texto, calma aí. Eu tô procurando.
Okay, you can mention that in English, no problem. Okay, I know you're checking on the text, which is nice. Okay, which is important. We know you are taking a look and finding for that information, which is nice. It's always good to have your own opinion on this. Okay. All right, and now Amanda, get ready for number 6 as soon as Elena
Oh,
Finishes, okay? And then Elena,
that's
please.
false.
What did you say?
False.
False information. What do you say, Otávio? Is this number 5 false or true?
I think it's true.
That's true. Can you help your sister to find in the text why it's true?
Okay.
Did you find it? Okay, did you find it? Number 5 is true, you're right. You just help her to find this information. And then, Amanda, please, you have the last one. I'd like to know your opinion about this one as well. Did you find Amanda?
Yeah, I think that's true.
True information. Why do you think it's true?
Because in the text they say, and his work in Chicago continues.
Yes, that's it. True story. Okay, so we have all the information for this part. And I believe that was a nice one and nice to see that you all participate actively, which is nice. All right, so let's continue here to the next. Now for the next, we have the building vocabulary. The building vocabulary is the way you explain things in English, okay? Because sometimes you cannot explain in Portuguese. So we need to find the definition. So what's the definition for block, in your opinion? What's the definition for block? How would you say that? How do you say block? We have the column, numbered column, and then we have, it's a numbered lines in the first column, and then we have the rest. We have the explanation in front. What's a block? Amanda, Otávio, Helena, anyone, please. Chantal, please turn off the light.
I don't know.
A block?
Mas...
What's a block?
Tipo, é bloco musical?
Let's
Tipo,
try,
que nem
if you don't know block, let's go to the others. For example, what's a resident?
Residente.
No, the definition. We are trying to find the definition.
Who lives in one private, who lives in a particular place.
Congratulations. Take a look. There we go. Okay, what about the renovate? What's renovate? What's that? So renovate is to make repairs to improve a place condition. That's the renovate. Okay, what about the stage? What's a stage, people? If you don't know, you can just go to location. What's a location?
A place where something happens.
A location?
Yes.
Are you sure about that? Location, a
Oh.
place where something happens. Perfect. And what's a decline?
Decrease in quality or importance.
That's okay, a decrease in quality or importance. So now, let's take a look at block and stage. We have two now. Now it's their chance. Block and stage. How can we connect the dots?
Professor, o bloco é de bloco musical ou não?
No.
Então, eu acho que é an area of land with streets on all its sides.
Ah, see that? That's a block. And then stage. Fantastic. This is what it is, okay, people? You got all the information for this lesson. This is important. Now we have all the information here, which is nice. And what do we have here? What do we have that it's important? Now you know the definitions for those elements. We have the critical thinking that I want to learn your opinion now. For this lesson, we have the applying. In what other ways could you renovate a vacant building? Tell me your opinion. How could you renovate a vacant building to create a community gathering? Do you people have any ideas how to renovate a community or no? Yes or no? Okay, let me see about this one here. It's important that we find, this is the, renovate vacant building. Let's take a look here on something interesting, okay? All right, so I'll show you here how people do that in renovating, okay? I'm gonna show you a very nice one here. Okay, so we're gonna watch the video, okay? And this video you're about to watch, you will see people renovate and tell you how they renovate the building. All right. So here we have the video. All right. And then that's the old building, a vacant building to be renovated. All right. So, and pay attention the way they renovate. I will fast forward the video. Okay, because we can just take a look at how things go. Did you tell me what kind of a renovation was done? Okay. Probably they're gonna get inside. Look at that, showing outside. You see there's the other side of the street as well. People look at the building and they say, oh, that's not possible to recover. What we're gonna do, what we're gonna do. All right. And here on the side, they see there are some curtains, white curtains covering the windows. The beautiful glass windows. All right. And then, of course, we have to check inside. How is this? Okay, so probably this will be the one to be renovated. Anyway, there seems to have a great opportunity for them to do something over there. Looking outside, some old objects is down there. You see, it just require minor cleaning. And they're going around. They take a look again. So that's inside. So what they have to do inside to renovate that one? See, since that this outside area shows that there's some, litter. People just accumulate some woods and materials that's supposed not to be there because that can attract other insects, maybe spiders as well. All right. Looking around. Hopefully something good will be in this reforming, okay? Because now nothing was done. Okay. This is very, nothing to see. Okay, that would be nice. So how do people believe it could be used? What can be done to this old building? In your opinion, Amanda and Otávio. What can be done? And Helena, of course.
Paint the building.
What else? Yeah, because when you start renovating, it takes lots of activities which can be very daring, okay? To do that, take a look here. Here we see the rest of the house. Look at that. Abandoned houses, it takes a lot. You need to remove all the garbage, the bricks, everything. Now look at that. People just giving information and being interviewed by the local television. Okay. She's a resident, the person responsible for the renovation. Okay, so everybody is expecting something good to be from this type of a renovation. But we know how hard it can be to start renovating vacant houses. In many cases, people prefer just to buy new ones. But if you have an old building in your neighborhood, you can do something. You can do something just like Theaster Gates. Theaster Gates creates a museum. He creates a library, the Arts Museum, place for exhibition. presentations, gatherings. That can be done. Okay? Look at that. Everybody goes inside, take a look and see. So the expectation to see something new in the building. Look at that. Look at that. Vacants to value boosters, okay? 205 properties, historic tax credits. What else? All right. And then I muted because we want to see what they are doing, not exactly what they are saying, okay? So for many people, it resides the problem of, okay, so we don't have the money for renovation. It can be difficult without the money. We know it takes money, it takes time, it takes efforts. Everybody needs to work together, okay, for renovating a new building. Okay, so let's take a look here back again. So what would be your opinion to renovate an old building? What if you had the chance, what would you do in an old building? For you, for your family?
I will reform the place, like painting and cutting the... Como fala a grama alta?
To mow lawnmower, mow the lawn, cut the
Okay,
grass,
the low mower.
reduce the
Cut,
ravine.
and I put some really cool things inside the house and plant some flowers to make it beautiful.
Okay, seems to be nice. Fantastic. That's a nice idea of renovation. What does your sister think about that? What does your sister think about that?
The only idea that I have is like painting the house and yes.
Okay, painting the house is a good one as well. And Amanda, do you have an idea?
I would say painting the house and making repairs in the place.
Okay, that seems to be nice. Okay, so you see, I like those ideas. Those are very nice. And of course, you probably don't have any old building because São José do Rio Preto is a quite new city. It's nice to be here, okay? So now let's move to the next page, page 116, how to revive a neighborhood. Then I'd like a volunteer to read the TED Talks. Who wants to read now? The first block here in gray. Nobody? I will ask Otávio to read then. Otávio, please read TED Talks here.
Não caiu, não.
Okay, Otávio?
And Pastor Gates decided to tackle his Chicago neighborhood problems by reshaping and reimagining abandoned buildings. His idea worth spreading in that art can be a force for social change, bringing new life to buildings, neighborhoods, and entire cities.
Excellent.
Saúde.
Bless you. Bless you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we have the words tackle, reshaping, and abandoned. What does it mean? Tackle, reshape, and abandon.
Tackle, eu acho que é cutucar, não é?
We have here the options 1, 2, 3 on screen.
Ah, tá.
What are the options in English? Amanda.
When tackle a problem, you deal with it.
You deal with it. Okay. Remember, that's the point of tackling a problem. You deal with it. You deal with it. What about to reshape? Number 2, Elena.
To reshape something means to change the structure of it.
Okay, to reshape is to change the structure of it. Okay, very nice. Now number 3. Amanda, an abandoned building. The microphone is off. Amanda, are you still there?
An abandoned building is one that the owner left.
Left, that's it. The owner left. Nobody is living there anymore. This is very bad, okay? It's not what we want. We want everyone to be in that building, okay? Okay, let me send this one to you. Now we have this one, and now we're gonna go to viewing. Watch part 1 of TED Talk. What problem in his neighborhood does Gates talks about? Okay, so I'm gonna see this one here. I ask everybody to watch and pay attention. We have 3 options: high crime, vacant buildings, and not many jobs, okay?
The neighborhood that I live in is Grand Crossing. It's a neighborhood that has seen better days. It is not a gated community by far. There's lots of abandonment in my neighborhood. And while I was kind of busy making pots and busy making art and having a good art career, there was all of this stuff that was happening just outside my studio. But I think a lot of our US cities and beyond have the challenge of blight, abandoned buildings that people no longer know what to do anything with. And so I thought, is there a way that I could start to think about these buildings as an extension or an expansion of my artistic practice? And that if I was thinking along with other creatives, architects, engineers, real estate finance people, that us together might be able to kind of think in more complicated ways about the reshaping of cities.
Okay, excellent. Now it's time to take a look at the answer, okay? So, in your opinion, what problem in his neighborhood does Gates talk about? High crime, vacant building, or not many jobs? What do you
Letter
think?
B.
Yeah, you can answer, please. Letter B.
Yeah.
Letter B. What's letter B, Otávio?
Vacant buildings.
Vacant buildings, okay. So let's take a look here and let's see whether it's okay.
The neighborhood that I live in is Grand Crossing. It's a neighborhood that has seen better days. It is not a gated community by far. There's lots of abandonment in my neighborhood.
Yeah, Otávio, you're right. That's the answer. Vacant buildings. All right. Excellent. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So here, there we go. Let's take a look back here. Then we have a part 2 of the TED Talk. You have to put events in order they happened, okay? Pay attention because we have to put all the correct information here. Let's go, 10.10. Okay.
And so I bought a building. The building was really affordable. We tricked it out. We made it as beautiful as we could to try to just get some activity happening on my block. Once I bought the building for about $18,000, I didn't have any money left. And so I started sweeping the building as a kind of performance. I was like, no, this is performance art. And people would come over and I'd start sweeping because the broom was free and sweeping was free. It worked out. But we would use the building then to stage exhibitions, small dinners, and we found that that building on my block, Dorchester, we now refer to the block as Dorchester Projects, that in a way, that building became a kind of gathering site for lots of different kinds of activity. One house turned into a few houses. And we always tried to suggest that not only is creating a beautiful vessel important, but the contents of what happens in those buildings is also very important. So we were not only thinking about development, but we were thinking about the program, thinking about the kind of connections that could happen between one house and another, between one neighbor and another.
Fantastic. Now let's see if you can remember the sequence, okay? Can you think about the sequence of what we saw? Yes or no? Tell me.
Yes.
Ah, excellent. So what comes after Gates bought a building?
He starts sweeping.
Start sweeping. Ah, okay. And then the next? Amanda, Helena, to help him. What else? Let's take a look.
I don't remember.
And so I bought a building. The building was really affordable. We tricked it out. We made it as beautiful as we could to try to just get some activity happening on my block.
Gates renovate the building. The first activity, Otávio, okay? Gates renovated the building. Is that so? Fine. Okay. So let's go to the next now. Let's see the next.
Once I bought the building for about $18,000, I didn't have any money left. And so I started sweeping the building as a kind of performance.
So the second thing, Otávio, was the one sweeping the building. Okay? Let's see the next.
This is performance art, and people would come over and I'd start sweeping
because the broom was free and sweeping was free. It worked out.
And then the next one was people started coming to Gates Building. What do you think would be the last two ones, please?
He became famous.
Okay.
And her neighborhood become more less less known, less ugly.
Take a look at the material. Let's take a look and see how it goes, okay?
But we would use the building then to stage exhibitions, small dinners.
Gates used the building to stage exhibitions. And the last one?
One house turned into a few houses. And we always tried to suggest that not only is creating a beautiful vessel important, but the contents of what happens in those buildings is also very important.
All right. So Gates bought other buildings. Is it okay? Did you see that? Excellent. So that was the idea. Okay, people. So we saw what it is, okay, which was nice. Okay, to bring all this information here. Beautiful, excellent. That made me happy. All right, so now that we got this one here, let's move on to the next, which is watch part 3 of the TED Talk and circle the correct option to complete each sentence. The Arts Bank project was difficult to finance because, what's your opinion? The arts building was difficult to finance because? What do people say? What would be your opinion?
Acho que é porque the costs were very high.
You see that? Wow. That's okay. Okay. Very nice. Interesting. Let's take a look. And number 2, the Arts Bank is now used as? What do you think it is?
Place for exhibitions and performances.
Place for exhibitions and performances. Wow. And the number 3? What's number 3?
Professor, eu acho que a 3 é Doing Art Exhibitions.
Ah, okay, no problem. Let's check. We're gonna check together, okay? Let's take a look here.
Professor?
Yes, I can hear you.
É que eu acho que tinha travado.
Okay. Please tell me number 3.
Number 3 is Doing Art Exhibitions.
You see that? That's okay. Let's take a look now and see whether it's right or wrong, okay? Let's go.
In this bank that we call the Arts Bank, it was in pretty bad shape. There were about 6 feet of standing water. It was a difficult project to finance because banks weren't interested in the neighborhood, because people weren't interested in the neighborhood, because nothing had happened there. It was dirt. It was nothing. It was nowhere. And so we just started imagining what else could happen in this building. And so now that the rumor of my block has spread and lots of people are starting to visit, we found that the bank can now be a center for exhibition, archives, music performance, and that there are people who are now interested in being adjacent to those buildings because we brought some heat, that we've kind of made a fire. In some ways, it feels very much like I'm a potter, that we tackle the things that are at our wheel. We try with the skill that we have to kind of think about this next bowl that I want to make. And it went from like bowl to a singular house, to a block, to a neighborhood, to a cultural district, to thinking about the city. And at every point, there were things that I didn't know that I had to learn. So now we're starting to give advice around the country on how to start with what you got, how to start with the things that are in front of you, how to make something out of nothing, how to reshape your world at a wheel or at your block or at the scale of the city. Thank you so much.
Oops. Let's see now if the answers are okay before we finish the classes, okay? Let's take a look. Let's take a look now.
It was a difficult project to finance because banks weren't interested in the neighborhood, because people weren't interested in the neighborhood, because nothing had happened there.
Okay, the next one now.
And so now that the rumor of my block has spread and lots of people are starting to visit, we found that the bank can now be a center for exhibition, archives, music performance. So now we're starting to give advice around the country on how to start with what you got, how to start with the things that are in front of you.
All right. So those are the 3 ones. So did you see that? Was it okay now? Otávio, Helena, your microphone is muted.
Yeah, we see.
That's okay. So very nice and good to know. Good to see, okay? So all the questions are correct, as you could see, and not so bad. And today our communication was about this on page until page 114 until on page 116. Please ask your parents to get the book. I sent the link, so try to remember then that we start the book when the book arrive at your house, okay?
Vai chegar mais ou menos semana que vem.
Very nice. Congratulations, okay? So we're gonna finish the classes now. We stop the recording just a second.